Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I'm Gypsy Girl, here to give you another lesson for today. I thank you for your energy. Thank you for protecting and keeping us safe, protecting me and keeping me safe. What is the lesson for today? Thank you, Spirit. What is the lesson for today? What does the collective need to learn today? What is the lesson for today? I feel like I need to shuffle it again. Not done yet. Not enough shuffles. What is the lesson for today? Thank you, Spirit. What is the lesson the collective needs to learn? High Priestess. She represents the moon. Very emotional. This card brings in that sense of emotion, sense of opening up, receptivity, being open to receiving. Being creative. But there is wisdom in this High Priestess. She represents that sense of deep knowing, that sixth sense, intuition, where you have the choice to follow it. And in most cases, when we say intuition, we connect to, well, I thought about it and I should have done it and I told myself to do it, but then I didn't, and I should have. That's where this card, well, say this card, that's what she represents. That you know you need to, and yet you pull away from. And that is where the moon comes in, because it is an illusion in its own right. Where you think what you think is illusion or delusionary. So you cling to the reality and hold off on following that natural instinct. And it doesn't take long, depending on you, the person, when you say, oh, I should have done it. It could happen within the second, or it could happen days, weeks, even months and years later, where you remember, I should have, I could have. And that brings that regret, So this moon, I say moon, I'm sorry, I just see little bits of crumbs. Sorry about that. Not the moon, but it is linked, the delusion and the illusion and the fear, that doubt, where you're not sure, you can't prove it, but you know that it's that thing or that way, or it's in the pit of your stomach feeling, deep down inside, the depths, But there's where the faith comes in. So this card brings with it a lot of questions, because when you think you have the answer, the light shimmers and shifts, and the shadows become different, or they change right before your eyes, and then you have that sense of doubt and disbelief, and then fear comes in, puts you in a stalemate position at some point if you go too deep into questioning what you feel, and you come out uncertain and confused or even. But that's extremities I'm talking here. It's not always like that. This card here, this high priestess, she would be the first stage of that subconscious mind, where it's the first instinct, the first impression. But that's the true one, that's what we doubt, that first impression that we get, where you look at someone or look at a situation and right off the bat, this isn't gonna go well, and then you go, well, I'm jumping to conclusions and I shouldn't, and then I'm gonna give a chance, and then you give that chance, the door opens, and everything you thought of on the first impression comes to reality. And then you go, I should have listened. I could have, I would have, but I didn't. That's what comes with this card. In a lot of different levels, okay? We're not going to start breaking it down, because it is about delusion and illusion. It is about being able to decipher what is illusion from reality. But it is mostly about following your natural instinct and being connected through spirit, through the universe, through just the knowing. And if you practice being connected, it becomes stronger, that connection, and your impulse is quicker. You just sense things sooner, faster, because you practice it. But it's a lesson. So the lesson is in, well, it is dealing with the moon. So the high priestess, the lesson is in following that instinct, going with the flow, rather than that knee-jerk saying, well, I don't want to. I know I should, but I don't want to. It is going in the opposite is where we tend to go. So now, being a lesson, it would be to follow that intuitive flow. So what would be the tool? Regret. The Five of Cups. Regretting not following that instinct seems to be the flow here, because he's turned away from that deep knowing. And what is deep knowing here is a very emotional. You see, because it's the cups. Because it's the cups. It is definitely emotional. We're looking at loss when we see this five. Deep loss, and not just I lost my pen. This is, or my favorite, whatever. This is deep, deep loss, where you feel removed from reality. Your reality has shifted, it's changed dramatically. Not just on well, I lost my chance, so I'm in regret. That is one layer of it. But this is when you know that you will never be in relationship with another, because they've gone on to the next realm. it is in that depth that we open up to being receptive. This is already complicated. You see, this is a really, really deep, two cards. The deep, dark secrets of the moon and the deep, dark pain of loss. I see Pluto like all over the place here. And that is what it's supposed to be, because Saturn and Pluto are commingling, and the pain of it and the suffering of whatever it is that is a deep loss, a deep sense of loss, is brought up to the surface. We have to face it. We have to be open to that reality. And this is being done by Spirit. And this card here, this is all Spirit bringing us to the level of understanding, to the level of receptivity, so that we could look at the things that hurt, things that are painful for us. And it is loss that comes with what is painful emotionally. That we have lost someone, and I'm not going to say something, it's someone. It is that relationship that you were comfortable in that is now lost. It's gone. It feels like it'll never come back. But you see, that is what we are meant to go through, and we are meant to rise above again with the fives, to climb out of that dark depression, because that's what it is. And when you look at the negative on the moon, with the negative, I wouldn't even say negative, but the full body of this card, it's very depressing. So you could look at this and say, well, someone is in a real sad and depressed state. They're hurt, emotionally suffering, because that's what these two put together would represent. So this is a deep lesson. Okay, and I see here the connection to death, because it is a connection to death. When you lose a person, it is usually through death, this card would show, because we're regretting the loss. Now, that's the extremities. It also shows for a relationship that is broken, where you've broken up, and that breakup is hurt. It feels hurt because you were comfortable and what you had is now taken from you, and you feel vulnerable because of that loss. And again, I always remind the viewer that the three cups in the traditional deck are on are laying down, broken even, depending. Sorry, I have allergies. It's giving me a hard time. Okay, coming around again. Okay, so the three cups usually are laid down, spilled, and then the two cups are standing. So there is still a chance that you can come through, and you will come through, but you need to allow and be receptive so that we can have that relationship come in with that natural pull from Spirit, because Spirit is helping. The state of loss here, this is key. This is very key. This is why we are here, to experience deep sense of loss, deep sense of hurt, so that we can rise above it and use the experience to help others come along and come out of their loss and suffering. Wow. So this is a deep lesson today. So what is Spirit doing for us? So, well, truth is coming. Now we have truth. We're going from one extremity to the next. We have so much suffering, loss, and hurt, and very sad, emotional goings-ons. And then all of a sudden we have this blast of truth honesty, and someone coming in to talk and tell all because they have to speak, they have to say. They're determined. But it's not just a determination. It is usually with rage that this comes. So the anger that could come from the loss and that depressed state is, it's like going from 0 to 60. You know, you just put the pedal to the metal and you just go. You're just looking for the extremities because you're trying to break free of this sense of loss and lack and missing and feeling alone, and that you want to be with someone but you can't because, and then there's this need to speak it. And this is good because this is how we come out. This is the change. Spirit is giving us the ability to rise up and say, you know what, I lost everything. It's made me so sad. And here I am trying to get through what's left of my life. I need to tell. I need to talk. And this is a good thing, because it needs to come out. Bringing out all of that sense of loss and misery, bringing it out into the open, shedding light on it, even bringing that experience is what will heal this loss and bring in that emotional connectivity that we still have, again, with the 2 cups, right? Remember, in the traditional deck, these 3 are laying down, and the chance of still having a relationship is what this card spills into. So we give up, we go through the loss, we speak about it, and we get to heal. So what would be the gift if we're getting all this conversation? Well, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So we could say that this is official. This is official. This information that's coming, this news, this conversation that's to be had brings in abundance. The 8 of Pentacles. It brings in abundance. This is work, details, talking about work that's been done possibly, but not just talking about the work. The conversation in itself created the abundance. So something good. Like, of course, it's Pentacles. The 8 is coming. What goes around comes around. So conversation in itself about loss, dealing with emotional state of mind, because it's a mental thing, and this is a mental, and this is mental, emotional, spiritual. This is emotional, this is verbal, and this is action. This is doing. So being able to have that momentum pick up with the conversation. So we're no longer laying in our grave, if you will, of emotions, because this is all about feeling loss and death and darkness around, okay? And when we come out to speak, we have air, we have the change in our mind, the change in our feeling. We're moving faster than we were here, where we were in a slump. We're coming out of it, talking and doing. But this is not just doing. This is boons coming in. This is money, value. So valuable conversation. It could take on that tone of having a valuable conversation about what we really feel, and going into that emotional receptivity where we are open to sharing what we are going through. Almost like when you go to one of those meetings for self-help where you sit and you're in the group and your turn comes and you speak about what you've been through, but you do it in an emotional openness, so that others who are within the group who have similar experiences are encouraged to speak, because of the way that you are speaking, to bring the value of your words. That automatically open up and have others being receptive. Taking your pain and suffering and sharing it with others so that they can become stronger through your emotional receptivity, your projection of what is not just guidance, but your suffering helps them see their way through their own suffering. You see? I mean, these are lessons in rising above in spirituality, dealing with life and death, conversation that is valuable to help someone who is suffering loss. All of that comes into play here. You see, and then of course at the bottom of the deck we have Jupiter, which is, oh gosh, the deck just opened. Okay. Not that I don't want it to, it's just the way it's opening up. It's just, yeah. All right. Sorry, I have a cup of tea going on here too. I need it. I'm going to have to pause to cough in a minute. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune showing up at the bottom. Jupiter coming to heal. Oh gosh, we have all these cards, and more and more. Let's just take them and I'll figure them out. So we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. So it's a quick change, you see. As fast as it's spoken, the change occurs, because the attitude, the meaning brings in that, oh, a new look, a new perspective is brought with conversation that is valuable. See, I see it as valuable conversation here, which is a good thing, because if someone is hurt, like deeply hurt, then conversation is what needs to happen. And that changes the luck, if you will. It's because of the Wheel of Fortune here. And Jupiter is healing. Jupiter is wisdom. So the wisdom of the moon, the wisdom in the conversation, is what is going to be taken on and building up. See, we have a 7 of Wands here. So it's integrity now. We're looking at integrity. Feeling like you've lost integrity is what is changing. It's going to, that's what the conversation will bring, to bring back the integrity. Then we have this 4 here of where we see more of the same. That sense of, I'm not too interested in this again. I keep getting this, or the conversation will heal. I mean, because I can't know what is being said naturally, but whatever it is relating to truth. It is relating to relation. It is in relativity to suffering emotionally. This is valuable conversation. Bringing in value, bringing in that want for more. Being able to talk and build on something, because this is details, going into the details, talking about the details. brings in that healing, because it's a healing that comes with this recognizing, I don't want any more of this. This is too much, or the suffering is too much. Because now we have the 5 with the 4 here, so it's 9, and that is where that sense of satisfaction or over indulgence can happen. But because we have integrity here, standing in it and pushing back, or pushing to uphold, taking the higher ground, rising above, coming out of the depression, is where this tends to stand in. Going with passion, going with wanting to develop more, finding a reason to go on, in other words. Again, there is value in the conversation that brings us to want to continue and come back to life and have another attempt or another relationship. Because again, go back to the traditional meaning of this card, is that there is a possibility to continue living, even though there has been a serious and heavy, sad loss that just took place, or has been, or is taking place, depending on your circumstance, where you know that there's something that is going, and that you need to talk about it. I mean, take it as it resonates, and this goes all over. But this here, this 4, this conversation could be, when I say could be, again, it's all over the place, but it could be that tired of hearing the same thing. Okay? Wanting that innovation, wanting to move on and create something new, because it's bored with this. I don't want this anymore. I want something else. Innovation to continue and move on to smooth waters. See, this is where all the truth comes in. This is interesting. We're going to end it here, because this is where we need to see the relief. And it is good for relief to come in. It is good. It is good for relief to come in. We're determined to go off into peace and have truth because of the truth. But this seems to be official truth. It could be, for some, as a reading would go, it could be the reading of a will. Reading of a will, where you have your just desserts coming to you. Your integrity is upheld here. You're pushing, standing, taking that higher ground because of information that you've received. Legal documentation I talk about when I say official truth. It could be divorce papers. It could be for a will, testament that's now come open because of a death in the family. Okay? Or it could just be the truth about a relationship in itself, where you need to speak your truth. Your partnership is based on truth. This queen here is representative of deciphering truth and only wanting to deal with a truthful conversation, because that is where the value is. It is in words, it is in what you say that will bring peace of mind, because it's all in, again, with the swords, what you're thinking, what you're saying in relationship to loss and emotional receptivity, where you want to be open. The lesson here is in being receptive to the truth, being open to receive and take it to a higher level here. Again, if we look at the 4 cards, it comes out with this is the Wheel of Fortune, where in degrees it is turning, constantly turning, and where we rise above when we see this Wheel of Fortune coming in, it is because we're either taking that chance, or chance has come to us instinctively. We take the chance, or by nature, naturally, our turn has come to come into where we get to go up to the higher ground. We get to rise above loss and suffering, or if we've been made to suffer emotionally, we're rising up out of it. We're moving on. We're healing with conversation. We're taking it to the next level of speaking, because Spirit is giving us this ability to have a real conversation, that we can speak, that we feel that we cannot ignore. It's overwhelming. We need to say what we need to say, and we need to be heard. We feel that we need to be heard. Spirit is giving us that sense of, what is it that I need to say is valuable? What it is that I need to say needs to be said, because it will bring that shift in lethargy, because there needs to be a change according to this official news. Again, take it as it resonates. If you're going through legal battling, you're coming out with a win. You're going to get a windfall out of it. It is your time. It is your time to rise above and get away from the lethargy. But not just get away from it. Recognize what it is that you've had too much of, or it's the same. You're tired of it. See? These two cards coming together. This clears away that emotional lethargy. These words will change that churning inside of us that's making us not want to move on, not want to have, again, you're giving me the same thing. I don't want this anymore. Those words are going to change that, because there is innovation that comes from the conversation, that comes from the Wheel of Fortune turning, shifting, and then the lethargy will dissipate and turn into that innovation, that determination for progress, for creativity, for that stepping into new relationship, because of these two cups here, and the drive, that drive to move into peace, to find that peace of mind, the determination to overcome, is how we could look at this, because of truth. Wow. It's beautiful. I thank you, Spirit. What is the oracle message for this lesson today? What is the oracle message? I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Lesson in intuitiveness, following that intuition. I mean, you are, we all are. We are coming through. If we're going through loss and suffering, it is because Spirit is saying, well, you need to go through this, and because you're going through it, certain information is going to come to you, or you're just going to start talking about how you feel, and it's just going to help. It's going to help. It's going to bring in value. It's going to bring in abundance. Take it as it resonates. But either way, we're moving off into smooth waters. Mind is, that emotional state of mind is going to be relaxed. Look at that, Pegasus. Again, that faith. Having that sense of, it's okay. I can go with this. I can go with this. Spirit has me. We have to believe that. That's where this is what this lesson is all about here. Having that deep knowing. If you need to trigger yourself on what the meaning of this card is, just use those two words, deep knowing, because it is deep within our soul, our instinct. When you know you need to turn left or turn right or go straight ahead, you know it deep inside of you. And it is a question of following it. And if you have to suffer to learn that lesson, because that's how this works. We don't learn unless we get burned. And when we get that burn, we remember and we say, oh no, I'm not going back there again. It's going to hurt. It's because we have to go through it. And sometimes we have to not pay attention to the intuition so that we could come and be 100% in the intuition. Because when we don't follow the intuition and we get hurt, we remember. And then we talk about it, or we get understanding of it by other people, because this is usually someone else coming in. This is not all of a sudden me just talking. This is someone coming with news to us, to me, to you, to whomever. This is someone else. Spirit is bringing this to us so that we could have that value. Okay? And then this Pegasus showing up here is that sense of faith. Having faith, having faith, having faith. Having faith is all of these cards bring faith in. And the faith is within the self, faith within another, faith within spirit, depending on your circumstance. Okay? Oh, at the bottom of the deck, Phoenix. So it will bring a new change. The value here brings a new change. See, there's abundance. It's financial as well as emotional value. And I say emotional because of the moon here. Let me just read Pegasus here. So we have the 3. So again, 3 is relating to communication. Mercury, okay? And then Mercury is ruling here. Conversation. So break free, dear one. Spread wide and far, for you aren't containable. You are limitless. Faith. That faith. Okay, that faith in the self, that you're able, you can do this. You're able to do this. For some reason, it's bringing in a sense of I'm not able. I can't. I don't know how. Yes, you do know how. You do know. Truth. Just speak your truth. Stand in it. Be innovative. Take that step to rising above that sense of depression and loss. And yeah, you did lose, but we're here to lose so that we can keep trying. And in the keeping trying, well, when we keep trying, it brings us to value. Again, the end is boons here. This is abundance. This 8. This is work coming in. This is either going to work. This is working. This is deciphering details for work. This is money coming into you because of conversation, because of legalities for the past, for the loss. Again, it could be for a will, it could be for divorce, because she represents a divorcee. Legal documentation as well, legal paperwork that says this is mine, this is yours, and this is the truth, and the whole truth and nothing but the truth comes with this card. Again, so does this. This is someone racing to tell all because they want to see a change. Very passionately. And it just keeps getting better when I look into what follows. It's not, yeah. It's really about self-expression. So the phoenix here, summoned, your flesh rises from the ashes and into the expansive flame of your soul. We know that this is a new beginning here. And then we have the morning dew and we have the bonfire. But this is remembering your passion, remembering love, and remembering what it is to be physically together with someone. Because that's what passion is. It's not just in your mind. It's how you express. It's how you express. Morning dew. What stillness does the silence of one's steadiness bring? That is where we have to be a little patient. Patient with the sense of loss. Give that time. Give that time to pass so that we can feel alive again with the change. Again, 31 becomes a 4. So there's balance here. And this is the phoenix rising up. So whatever was, we've given it up now. Or we're giving it up, depending on when you go through this lesson. Giving it up will make the change. That conversation will bring in that change. That Wheel of Fortune is definitely saying change is coming. And then, of course, this standing in your truth, standing in your integrity, rising up and saying, you know what? I don't want this, whatever that was anymore. I don't want it. I want something new. I'm going to move on. I'm going to take myself to the places I love to be, to the things I love to do, to start something, be innovative, and have some peace of mind because of the truth. And with that, I thank you for showing up, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. And if this lesson didn't come to you as a lesson today, don't worry, it'll come around again. Till our next lesson. Love and light.